8.8, difference of squares. The focused learning targets are I can factor binomials that are the difference of squares, and I can use the difference of squares to solve equations. So the first set of problems is factor the difference of squares, and the difference of two squares pattern is a squared minus b squared is equal to a plus b times the difference of a and b. So we're going to go ahead and use that here, right? In this case, our a is going to equal to 49 w squared. I'm sorry, our a squared is going to equal to 49 w squared. And in this case, our b squared is going to equal to 81 y squared. Right? So now what you need to do in order to find out what is a is we could take the square root of both sides, right? But what is the square root of both sides? It's a squared is a times a. Right? So on the right side, what you want to think about is what are two numbers that multiply to 49? Well, the answer is 7, right? 7 times 7 is equal to 49. So our a is going to equal to 7. And then it's going to be 7w, because w squared is, the square root of w squared is w. Right? We're going to do the same thing here for b. We are going to say, okay, well, b squared is b times b. That means on the 81, what two numbers multiply to equal 81? Well, it's 9. 9 times 9 is equal to 81. Right? And what two numbers multiply together to equal y times y, or y squared? And that would be 1y. Okay. So in this case, my a is 7w and my b is 9y. And now I could take my a and my b and I could substitute them into this expression. Okay. So I'm going to factor them out. I'm just going to go ahead and substitute my a is 7w plus my b, 9y, and I'm going to say a, 7w, minus 9y, and that's going to be my answer. So I'll put that up here. So we're going to do the same thing for number 2. Our a squared is equal to 9m squared, and my b squared is equal to 25. All right, so how do we solve this? Well, we take the square root of both sides, right? And so on the left side, it becomes a is equal to, and on the right side, if we take the square root, maybe I could go ahead and show you here like this. Right? It's the square root of a times a. And on the right side, it's the square root of 3 times m times m. Great. So these are all the factors of a squared. These are all the factors of 9 and m squared. Okay. And remember, the rule is to escape from square root jail, we need 2 of the same factors. So on the right side, we have 2 of the same factors. A escapes from square root jail. The 3 escapes from square root jail because we have 2 of them. The m also does because we have 2 of them. So a is equal to 3m. All right, let's do the same thing for b squared is equal to 25. We'll take the square root of b squared is equal to the square root of 25. And that's equal to the square root of b times b is equal to the square root of 5 times 5. Right? So we reduced it down to its factors. B times b is b squared. 5 times 5 is 25. And remember, to escape from square root jail, we need 2 factors, right, under the square root. So we get b is equal to 5. All right. So our a is 3m and our b is 5, right? Because we have 2 5s under the square root, so that can get pulled out. We have 2 b's under the square root, so that can be pulled out, ending up with b is equal to 5. And then now we're going to go ahead and use this same expression. And so I am going to say 3m plus 5 times 3m minus 5 is my answer. So I'm going to go and put a box around that and write that up here. So it's 3m plus 5, 3m minus 5, like so. Let's do the last one here. So in this case, my a squared is equal to negative 4y to the 3. And my b squared is equal to negative 9. Oh, okay. Actually, the first step here, we need our format as in a squared, positive a squared minus b squared, right? So our first step here should be to put it into that format. And what we want to do is turn this, we could either turn this positive and that negative, or we can flip these, put the 9y first. Let's go ahead and make this positive and this one negative. And we can do that by multiplying the expression by negative, no, let us go ahead and rearrange them actually, right? So since we have negative 4y to the 3 plus 9y, we can rewrite this as 9y minus 4 times y to the 3. So we'll say 9y minus 4 times y to the 3. So in this case, our a is 9y, and our b is negative 4y to the 3. Right. So I'm going to go ahead and change this to positive 9y, like so. And my b squared is going to be 4y to the 3. Actually, there's another step here that I'm missing. So let's go back. And the last step is that we want to factor out one of the y's. Right? We have the common factor of a y. So it's going to become y times 9 minus 4y squared, like so. Right? And then we're going to apply the difference of 2 square pattern to the 9 minus 4y squared. Sorry about that. So my a squared is going to be my 9, and my b squared is going to be my 4y squared. All right, now we're ready to go. So we're going to substitute a and b into our expression. And so, first we need to figure out what a and b are. So we're going to take the square root of a squared equals 9. So that's going to be the square root of a times a is equal to the square root of 3 times 3. Right, we break them down into their corresponding factors. Now to break out of square root jail, we need 2 factors. We have 2 there, so it becomes a is equal to 3. We have 2 factors there as well. And then we're going to take the square root of b squared and 4y squared. So the square root of b times b is equal to square root of 2 times 2 times y. Right? And so we have 2 factors here we could pull out. And we have 2 factors of 2 and y, so it becomes 2y. Our a is 3, our b is 2y. Now we're going to go ahead and substitute into our expression, and we'll get 3 plus 2y times 3 minus 2y. And then we have a y still there, right? We're substituting this expression. We're factoring out this portion of the expression, so we're missing the y. There should be a y there. Alright, and so that's going to be my answer. It's y parentheses 3 plus 2y, 3 minus 2y, like so.